your next race is Talladega, and that doesn't go so well. You
No,
end up
no.
on your lid 10 or 12, 15 times or whatever. Is there anything that you do remember about that accident?
Everything.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. What do you remember?
Well, we qualified in the top 10, and a little side note, we ran a Buick at Daytona, and we felt like maybe it wasn't as good a body as something else. So remember, Cale won Daytona with Le Mans.
Yeah.
In 1983. Remember he flipped qualifying.
Right.
Ran 200 and then flipped on his second lap, and had to go get the show car, which was a Pontiac Le Mans. And so they had made the switch to Chevrolet. The Harry Ranier team that Cale was driving for made the switch to Chevrolet. So they actually cut the body off that Daytona 500 winning car, and we bought the body. And Johnny Seiler and Claude Queen put the body back on that Buick. We cut the Buick body off and put that Pontiac Le Mans body on that car. That was the same car that we'd run Daytona, but with the Le Mans body that had won the Daytona 500 with Cale Yarborough. But anyway, car was really good, fast. We were running the top 10. Had a caution flag for whatever reason, and then we had a restart. At that time, the lap cars were on the inside line, and lead lap cars on the outside line. Well, Darrell had some sort of problem and gotten lapped, and I was running 8th or 9th or something like that, and going in turn one. By the time that Darrell had drifted back towards me running 8th or 9th, as we entered turn one, we got together, and that got me out of shape, and then I ended up turning sideways and hitting the wall head on. And then the car just lifted up on the right side and just started tumbling down the racetrack. And I remember every time. The flipping isn't bad; it's the landing that's bad.
Yeah.
And I remember, a thing landed probably during those 10 or 11 flips, probably landed 3 or 4 times, and it lands really hard, by the way.
If it had just been that initial impact into the wall, that was a pretty hard lick.
It was a hard lick, yeah.
Once everything settles and everything, how long did it take you to kind of collect your senses? And I mean, I'm sure you're checking to make sure everything's still attached. And
well, it was everything hurt.
Yeah.
Right then, and it broke my shoulder. And I obviously didn't know that at the time, and I was upside down, but the roof was off the car and it was on fire. So I don't know how long it took me to get orientated enough to undo my belts. And it wasn't like you undid the belts and you fell and hit your head. I mean, I was basically laying against the ground anyway. And I crawled out through the passenger side window. We didn't have side windows then because it wasn't a big fire, but it was on fire. So I crawled out, and then a couple guys grabbed me and dragged me away from the car. But it never, exploded or anything like that.
the next week's Grand National scene mentioned that Benny radioed to his crew and told them to go find somebody to take over for him because he wanted to go check on you. I'm sure you didn't know about that at the time, but what was your reaction?
I didn't know about that till way later because, he had told me years later, I think that, or maybe somebody else told me, but it was a long time before. He said that was driving by and seeing my car laying there was the worst experience of his career. And again, it was years before I knew that, how it had affected him. I did know that he and I don't think I knew it that day, but they said, Benny said, "Hey, get me somebody." They said he was just a basket case on the radio, and once they got the report from the Enfield Hospital that I was fine, I might have a hurt shoulder, as it turned out to be broken, then it was fine. He flipped a switch and went on to try to win that race, and ended up finishing second to the King.